Can a set of Amazon lights that cost less than $100 do anything? I don't know, we'll find out. These are between $40 and $60, depends on if you add the wiring harness or not. They're from China. They're named Mayello, never heard of them before. So let's see what they do. I'm not really having high hopes. It's Amazon light, but can an Amazon light really do that good? Let's try it out. So today we're testing a set of Mayello Amazon lights. These are 4-inch ditch lights rated at 60 watts. As you can see, the packaging's pretty good. I mean, usually they're just standard little boxes with nothing on them. So I mean, this is a pretty nice setup for here for what it is. But like I said, these are made in China. These are IP68 waterproof, and they claim efficient heat distribution on them. So I guess once we get the box open, we'll have to check that out, and then also do on the review test, right on the road test. So not bad. They're definitely protected. They got the nice little foam around them. The metal brackets are kind of nice because these things are looks like steel, pretty sturdy. They do have, looks like the double holes, so you can kind of change where you want the light position, which is a little higher or lower, which is nice. Set that over here so it's out of the way. The lights come packaged in this plastic here, which is really nice. Kind of saves them from getting beat up. They got nice connectors on them, which is a change for a lot of these. And then also it has the coating over this is pretty nice. I mean, look how thick that thing is. And it's not just a sleeve, which is kind of nice there too. It's actually solid through there. So these do have a really nice weather seal down there, so that's kind of nice. They're solid. Feels like aluminum on there, but they're definitely heavier than normal Amazon lights. So you can see down there the kind of the flood pattern there. It's not a bad shape on them. Looks like they'll do pretty good. So that's kind of what everyone's going with nowadays, is these 2 single lights over the others. So here's going to be the, looks like the hardware for it. So the mounting bolts and the screws to mount the lights to the brackets. We'll set that over there. Here's going to be your wiring harness on it. Looks to be pretty standard wiring harness here. So this is going to be extra connectors, just like in case you want to splice it shorter, some different fuses in case you want to try something different, or maybe some backup there. Looks like I had maybe a 15 and 2 10s in there. So standard rocker switch, lights up when it's turned on. So kind of nice little sheathing around all of it. Comes with a relay, so you don't have to worry about any of that. With the fuse already there, and it comes with a fuse. There's the 2 power and ground wires. They come with eyelids, which is nice in one of these kits. Once again, doesn't happen very often. So looks like, yeah, so it's not solid like the other ones are, which is fine, because once you get below the hood or the grill or wherever you're putting these lights, you're not going to really have any weather getting down inside there anyways. You could always put some heat shrink if that was a big thing for you. Looks like that's heat shrinked and sealed off at the end. So that'll keep weather out of there, which is nice. So the other thing too, these are glass lenses. Normally these Amazon lights, especially at this price here, so these things run between $39 and $59 if you get the one like this with the thing. Usually I'm not getting glass lenses, and from the best I can tell, these are glass lenses, which is pretty nice, and it'll hold up to fading and whatnot. Okay, so here I got, here's the new Mayello lights, and then here's the standard Amazon cheap ditch lights that I had on mine. So there's a big difference from the glass lens to the plastic lens. You know, the plastic lens eventually fog over, and you just get road debris and scratches and stuff. The one big thing too I did notice is the little dip inside could catch some snow. But if you look at the profile, the side profile is a lot smaller on these things. The lens actual like light section per se is about the same of these lights, but they're also a lot shorter top to bottom, which is kind of nice if you're trying to keep a lower profile, or if you have something smaller like our Outback that big lights just don't look good. And you can see the fins are different too. These are a lot bigger, a lot thicker, versus the just the standard Amazon fog lights are just a lot thinner. And you can see the build quality too on these two, how much difference there is between the two. The plug is on one side here, and then this other one here, it's in the middle, which is nice because if you're doing ditch lights, you're gonna have left and right, and one side you're gonna have the ditch light hanging out off the side. Also the brackets here on this one here, you can see are kind of chinky a little bit. They just, you know, they're whatever, they're cheesy. And then you have this one here that mounts on, and you actually can, like I said before, you have the two positions. You can kind of go high, you can kind of go low. So if you wanted something a little taller because you're facing it forward and you want to get over the top of the hood, or something a little lower so it's out of your vision, you can do that. Or you can put them on a front bumper like this and keep them out in front. So the nice thing with this type of setup is it does give you a lot of up and down and whatnot movement, where with the standard Amazon light, like the cheap one, there isn't much. It slides back and forth, which is kind of nice, but there's very limited adjustability on this thing here. You can see it just kind of slides up and down there to change your angle versus on the side. And then you have to flip it completely around to do for the front. And even if you look really closely at this thing, the angle from where the bolt is to the headlight or to the front of this light isn't actually perpendicular. So your headlight's going to be either slightly pointing up or slightly pointing down. You can't do a straight 90-degree out in front of you like you can with the Mayellos, which is really nice. So here's the other one I have on the driver's side, so I'm pulling it off. So these ditch brackets were just some that I built from some steel head laying around the house, which turned out pretty good. They're a little taller than I'd like, but they'll work for now, I guess. So as you can see, this is kind of all the adjustability this one here gives you. It's kind of hard to lift up and down. Left and right's good. Like I said, the advantage to these is they do have that in and out, so you can push them farther to the outside, which gets them out of your vision. And then also being ditch lights, it gets them farther away from your fender and your hood, so you don't get so much, I guess you call it flashback or whatever on those. You actually get to see where the light's supposed to go. So this one here they're really easy to mount. They got those two little like tabs there to keep the screw from moving around or the bolt from moving around. Drop the bolt in from the top, stick it through your ditch bracket of whatever make you happen to have there. And the big thing is too, so these actually have a slight angle if you look at it right there, so you can forward or backwards. Go with your preference. I kind of like the idea of it looking a little forward. It just looked, I don't know, more aggressive, and I kind of put it more to the front, which gives me more room for the headlight and stuff. So they're going to be a washer, and then a lock nut, or a lock washer, and then a nut is how these are done. And I'm not sure what the actual hardware is these, if these are stainless steel or if this is just a standard steel bolt. So we'll get a little test down the road. Like I said, I'll probably do a 6-month and maybe a 1-year test on these. So these here too, they can go either way. The one thing I did notice is if you look, there's this little spots here, and then the top is kind of done that. So I kind of like having that little flat rectangle on the bottom. It just looks better. You can mount them high, low, however you want. Like I said, coming on an Outback, I thought they would look just kind of crazy being way up high. So I did them a little bit lower on these, and it really seems to look a lot better than those other Amazon lights I had. I might use those for some backup lights or put them somewhere else on the car that's not as important as ditch lights are here. So the side bolts are going to be the same way. They're going to be the side bolts going to be the same way. They're going to be an Allen bolt. They give you the Allen wrench to do it, but they're going to be a bolt. The lock nut right there, as you can see, or the lock washer, and then a flat washer. And then you just got to find, go through the hole and screw them in. The one thing I did notice too, just a heads up on these, is the paint did get into the threads. So try to thread one of these bolts in all the holes before you install them, or if you have a thread cleaner or a tap, definitely run down in there. The paint's definitely nice and thick, which is good on that, but not good in the thread part. So just a little heads up on that one there. Also, this Allen wrench is not the one that came with it. It has just the silver standard one that you get everywhere for all these kits. You kind of see the thing. This one here, I just used my own. A little longer, it just gets a little bit more torque to be able to put them down and do a little bit nicer. The only downside, of course, is watch your paint when you do this. I wouldn't worry too much about getting crazy and aiming these. I kind of, put them on what looked good, but after you install these things, you really need to go find a dark parking lot, a school parking lot, a business if it shuts down and turns all of its lights off, a back road somewhere, a park, anything that you can get that's going to be dark so that you can put these things on and kind of aim them where you like them. They are kind of subjective on that part there. So I like mine maybe at a 45 or a little bit more towards the headlights of 45. That way you can just kind of see deer if you need to, or whatever's coming up, versus them being straight off to the side. So the big thing, of course, here is because they are right next to your windshield and to your body. So definitely go through and make sure they're not going to hit. So when you lift the hood, lift it easy. Check to make sure there's plenty of gap between there, because the last thing you want to do is open it up and ruin your hood, right? So here's the wiring harness. We're going to go ahead and open this thing out and stretch it out a bit. So this thing is massively long, which is really a good thing. Usually a lot of companies will skimp on wiring because copper's kind of expensive, but these guys give you plenty. I don't know what else out there that might be extremely more than our Outback. Maybe a Raptor or something that's really wide, but definitely know that. So here's your two power cables. They have the eyelids, which is really nice when you hook them to the battery. So it makes it super easy. You just pull one of the bolts off the battery and you have it ready to go. You're going to have 3 wires coming out of here. You're going to have 2 right here that are going to be to your lights, and then the thinner line that you have down in there. So those 2 there are going to go to your lights on either side, and the thin one on top is going to go actually to your switch inside. Now, to make it easier, I always find that if you can, they always have this junction right here. Usually just push the tab down and pop it loose. So it's really nice just to go ahead and pop it loose right there. That it gets your switch out of the way. You're not going to mess it up. You're not going to, smack it against the car or the engine or get it caught in somewhere. So I just take that, throw it off to the side for right now. You don't need it until you get inside the vehicle. And at this point, we're just going to kind of stretch things out. As it's been stuck in a box for, the last few months or whatever, while it's been sitting on a shelf somewhere in a warehouse, this gets kind of stiff. It's just nice to separate everything out so you know where it's going. There doesn't seem to be a left and a right, as long as one side goes to one side and one side goes to the other. They both are equal length, so you can cut them down as you need to, or you can just tie them up and leave them and then have the harness in case you need it for another vehicle or something different. So this part here is going to be different. Every car is going to have a different layout up underneath here. For the 2020 and up Outback, pop off the little red cap for your positive. Positive, of course, is going to be your red cap, and it's going to be the plus. Negative is going to be negative with the negative sign. Make sure not to mess these up. But the You're just gonna kind of lay everything out for right now, kind of get it put in there. See if you can find a spot for this relay. That's kind of where I usually start at. It has to be close to the battery, obviously, so you can get the power. At the same point, you don't want to get caught up in something. Now figure out where your wires are, which ones are which. Here's the one that goes to the switch. Go ahead and throw that out of the way. I prefer to start with the lights first, so I just throw that across the engine, get it out of your way. Here's going to be one light, so lay it off to that side there. Then we're going to take our other and kind of start feeding it out the way that's going to go. Alright, so we'll just speed the video up because it's pretty standard through here. Just keep everything out of any pinch points, feed it through so that it's not going to get caught into pulleys or anything that's moving. Make sure to zip tie it, tuck it away. Also, you'll see here in a minute how much extra wire I have. It'll come right here near the front of what I'm working on about right now. There's tons of iron, which is good if you need to go for somewhere longer, if you need to put your wires somewhere else, or if you were running these wires, you know, battery was in a different spot. Make sure to zip tie everything. And like I said, I'm not doing a clean install necessarily on this. It normally would be cleaner, and you'll see in future videos or in past videos. But I have something else kind of special coming, and I knew it was. So I just need something to get them in and get them working and show you how it worked with the wire harness. Okay, let's give these a try. So there's going to be the dims for this car. There's going to be brights, dims again. And there is going to be the lights turned on for the sides. You can see how much it lit everything up. It's pretty crazy for the price of these lights. You can see it's going to go way off to the left right there. And like I said, I have these about a 45, maybe closer to 50 degrees. I want to be able to still see deer and stuff that might happen to be in the field as they're running towards the road before they get there. Alright everyone, so what do I think of these lights? It's pretty surprised actually. Coming from Amazon, usually you kind of get what you pay for, the lower stuff. As you've seen, I already had a set of Amazon lights on my car. They did okay, but they weren't what I really wanted. So these were kind of worth a try. I think they're $40 for if you don't need the actual wiring harness, and they're $60 if you need the wiring harness. I can't complain with them. They've been pretty awesome so far. I'm happy with them. I've used them so far now for about a week. They shine out really good. They have a very good pattern, in my opinion, onto them, where they're kind of a mix between a spot and a flood, but they throw out light far enough to get the distance I want, but yet it does kind of give a little bit of a spread pattern. So I'm happy with that part there. The other thing too, I wanted to try, because I know that's the issue with some of these lights, is I ran them all the way to work on. So that's about a 45-minute drive. Had no issues whatsoever with them getting hot. I mean, they were warm obviously because they're lights that are running. I went into work and forgot them on, and then 2 hours later remembered that they were still on. Went out to check them, turned them off, and they weren't hot at all. Now granted, we are in a time where I think the temperature that day was around 45-50 degrees, so we're not talking baking sun, so we'll see how it happens during the summer. I'll try to remember to do a 6-month and maybe a 1-year trial on these, just to kind of give you guys a heads up of what I'm thinking of them. But so far I'm pretty happy. For 60 watts, I don't know what the other ones were. I think they probably claimed like 40 watts on those Amazon lights I originally had. I'd say these are 4 to 5 times the actual power and light output for sure, with no questions asked. Are they a Baja design? No, but at the same point, they're not costing the same point as what a Baja design or a dynamic diodes would cost, right? Because those are some pricey lights, and they're definitely not running between $40 and $60. I would definitely say check these out, give them a try. Definitely thumbs up for me. I'm loving them. I'm probably going to be definitely keeping them on the card now. They're going to be part of it. Thanks.